says live. Up to this point, the most time I've spent in any one place was in Utah, Ogden, Utah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, since you're recording this, I won't give the actual address. I lived on Ridgeview Drive in South Ogden. I went to Marlon Hills Elementary. It was built in 1961, which was the year before I was born. And this year, 2016, is the last year that it will be used. It's going to be torn down after this school season. They built a new school next to it where they tore down the junior high school. They're building a big elementary school that's going to replace two older schools. It's an old building. It's over 50 years old and it's obsolete, and so they're tearing it down and replacing it. Well, at that time they called it junior high. I went to South Ogden Junior High School, and they tore that down about 5 years ago. It was built way back in the 40s. I went to grades 7, 8, and 9 there, and now they're building the new elementary school where it used to be. High school, I went to Bonneville High School for grades 10, 11, and 12. I was born in October 1962 in Ogden, Utah, St. Benedict's Hospital. It is. It's now a retirement housing center. Okay. Yes. Well, I was never arrested. I never crossed lines with law enforcement. Got a couple speeding tickets. Let's see. My dad would get after me and spank me pretty good if I didn't get home in time at night. Just stuff, just kid stuff. Yeah. Gosh, not that I can think of right now. I mean, I didn't, like I said, I didn't ever get arrested or get in trouble with the law, so that was good. I dabbled in alcohol a little bit. I wish I hadn't done that. That could have been left out, but I didn't know better. But I learned. I had low self-esteem as a child. I was the only child. The way my parents raised me was quite authoritative. So there was no debate on stuff. Do this or else. And I was really skinny too. I mean, I was healthy, but I was really, really skinny. I didn't have no muscles at all. And so the other kids picked on me a lot. It was stressful. until I got to high school. I kind of got lost in the crowd and got involved in vocational auto mechanics. That was kind of an outlet for me. It was useful. I learned how to fix cars, and that's where I spent a lot of time. Yeah. Well, it was outlet. I was good at it. I had a talent for using my hands and doing things. Somewhat. Um, I still had pretty low self-esteem because I was so skinny, and so I was really careful who um, had to be careful who I hung out with and who I was around. If I wasn't, I'd get picked on. And it was, physically, with some of these people, if I tried to fight back, they would have just beat the crap out of me. And I didn't want that to happen. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. hmm Well, I didn't happen. I was careful the way I interacted around some of these people I was scared of. I just stayed away from them because they're so much bigger than me. I did that a few times. It was in junior high. There was a kid that was picking on me after I walked out of seminary, and I turned around and walloped him a couple times, and he left me alone after that. And there was another kid. I remember it was eighth or ninth grade. I was in band class, and he was hassling me. And right in the middle of class, I just stood up and started wailing on him, just punching him as hard as I could, as fast as I could, and teacher broke it up, and he left me alone after that. So I mean, it took a lot to get me to push back, but when I did, they usually left me alone. Kind of taught me a lesson. You do have to stand up to yourself for yourself sometimes. There was another time when I was sitting in the seminary class in ninth grade. This kid came and um, he just started sprinkling perfume all over me, and it really made me angry. I just got up and walked out. I had to go home, change my clothes, get all cleaned up. I was just really upset. I came back to the seminary teachers and I said, okay, here's the deal. It's him or me. Either I go out of the class or he goes out of the class.
And what happened?
And he got transferred.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. And I never spoke to him or had dealings with him again after that.
Okay. All right. Um, so what was your best memory of childhood, from your childhood?
Oh gosh. I'm going to say it was going to the temple and doing baptisms, proxy baptisms for the LDS Church.
And how old were you when you went and did that?
I was age 12 through 14, maybe 16.
Okay. Um, how, what was your worst memory?
Gosh, probably ninth grade band. Um, I was a drummer, and it was a group of kids, and they bullied me a lot. And it was one of those things where, I thought about it a lot in retrospect. I probably should have fought back, but I didn't. And it was just painful. But I got through it, got past it. By the time I got to high school, 10th grade, I found new friends, new classes. That was painful.
I'm sorry. So I realized, but going back to your favorite memory, so you said going to the temple and doing baptisms for the dead was one of your favorite memories. Why was that? Why is that your favorite?
Well, it was very peaceful in the temple to go there for one thing. I just really, looking back as an adult, it was one of the few times I think in my life that I felt the Spirit, and I knew it. And I knew it was a spiritual place. It was very peaceful to be there. And I think I felt, looking back, they used to give us these certificate things, be about this big, and it would say, and have your name on it. It would say you performed 35 or you performed 60 proxy baptisms for the deceased, and it would be signed by the temple president. And I had like 5 or 6 of those, and I had them on the wall inside my closet. Downstairs. And I remember every time I would see those, I would just feel a real sense of pride. I did.
Do you still have them?
I don't know where they are. I don't know. Probably in some scrapbook somewhere.
Okay. Have to see if we can find those, because that'd be pretty cool.
It was like, I'm going to say I was baptized for like 150 people in my childhood.
That's cool.
Did 35 once, and then I did, maybe it was more than that. A bunch of times we did like 60.
What? Really?
Yeah, you'd go in and you'd do 60 of those at a pop. Put you in, you'd go under 60 times.
Oh my gosh, they don't do that many nowadays.
No, now you get to do 10.
Yep, 10 or 15, if that. That's cool. I didn't know that. Did you ever have a nickname growing up?
I had several. The most common one was Keen, short for Keenan. There was a few kids that called me Ready Ranger. That one didn't really stick.
They called you what?
A Ready Ranger.
A Ready Ranger. Why Ready Ranger?
I remember one day was at my friend's house, and there were a bunch of us, and being a mechanically inclined person, so I could hear cars coming by. I could tell what kind of engine it had in it. And I remember once this truck drove by, and I made reference to the fact that it probably had a V8. And one of my friends, mouthed off, and he said, "Well, aren't you a Ready Ranger?" And it stuck. So after that, a lot of people called me Ready.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had that nickname.
But Keen was a nickname. Those two nicknames, mostly Keen. But everybody had nicknames in our neighborhood. It was weird.
And you had a couple other ones. What were they?
Just those two that I recall.
Weren't you called
but there were other
Stretch or something like that?
Stretch. Occasionally, I did.
Okay. I thought that you had like something else, like Stretch or something, but maybe I'm thinking of the other nicknames that you told me of the people that had nicknames. So hold on a second. It paused. Oh, your computer just stopped. Okay, that's okay. What we can do is we can just stop the broadcast and then we can start again. Do another one. Is it, let's see if we can give it a few minutes. Let's see if it'll refresh itself. Can you do anything else on it? Oh, the computer's rebooting. Oh, oh, okay. Okay, I'll stop this then.